start with an opening statement from Coach and then go into questions.
Just really grateful for a 13-2 outing in non-conference. The intent was to get as much film as we can on ourselves and play in different environments and play different styles, and I think that was accomplished. I know that that was accomplished in the 15 games that we've played. With our two losses being in neutral sites and one versus a top 25 team, I feel really good about, the amount of experience that we've gotten in that out of the non-conference play. Now that we're shifting into SEC play, really excited. This is a familiar environment for me. Non-conference does not bring familiarity. Conference play does, but it will be a lot of newness for this team, Team 51. So it'll be my job to make sure that they're confident and comfortable as we go into this new environment. But what I am excited about is we know when we're going to play, and it has like a rhythm and a cadence to it. I remember when I first got the job, Carol Ross said to me, the SEC has a certain feel and a rhythm to it, and it is the truth, and it's established between the Thursday, Sunday games for the most part. So really excited about, closing that chapter and entering a new chapter for Team 51.
Obviously, with the SEC slate, like it gets a lot more difficult. You're playing consistently good teams.
Yep.
How are you preparing your team now to make that mental and physical leap?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've tried to prepare them. 15 games in a month and a half is pretty brutal. It's not easy. It doesn't matter who you play, and we made it pretty challenging for us to the type of things that we did, like the 2-game tournaments, 0 rest time. It's as much as you can prepare for this type of league. I think the SEC is the best league in the country. Okay, if I'm biased, call it that. But we do have currently, I think, 3 to 4 teams in the top 10 and 8 in the top 25. And regardless, that is what people think of our league and the teams in it. Sometimes you want to lean on your leadership. You want to lean on the veteran players. That's why, we sought it out, Brescia and Denham, who played in the SEC. Cody, that has played deep into tournament play in another respectable conference, which is the Big Ten. So, hopefully we can lean on that. And then as a coaching staff, we just have to keep them engaged and understand that this is the long game and there will be ebbs and flows from the league.
I know you use non-conference play to learn your team and to see what you have out on the floor. How confident are you in the rotation, I guess, that you've picked going to conference play, or have you even picked?
That's something that's still a work in progress. I've always said that I feel like, we'll play our best basketball in the latter part. I think most teams that have a bunch of transfers will. That's just what it is. If you're blessed to have a bunch of returners, then it's a little different. But for us, that is not the case. So, just still trying to figure that out. But I am confident in who we have in that locker room and their capabilities. I just have to make sure I put them in position to be successful.
We just had Christine and Cody in here, and I'm curious from your perspective how you've seen their relationship grow since Cody's first day on campus, because the banter that they have together, they have fun, it seems. On the court, they have really good chemistry, but from your perspective, I'm curious how you've seen their relationship grow.
It's been watching them grow has been really fun to see, but even our whole team, but specifically those two, they're both been asked to be in different roles. And so that's been kind of cool to watch, Cody evolve into the role that we want her to be in. And then Christine, this is a new role for Christine. Last year for a large part of the season, Christine came off the bench. She was a big part of it, but she came off the bench. We had people that stepped in front of her and was able to produce. And so, this is the first time that she's really being depended on, and she's really a part of what we're trying to do. And so that is something that is going to be a challenge for young people change. But that is our new reality in this whole sport, right? In athletics, you have to be prepared to pivot, and so it's been cool to watch them.
Can you prepare a player for that role, or is it just kind of like a throw in the fire, see how you react, and let's build from there?
Yeah, you kind of have to grow through it. I'm one of those coaches. I want to win every game, of course, but I found the win for me in the non-conference was playing 15 games, seeing 15 completely different styles, seeing 15 teams try to figure out how they were going to beat us, and figuring out how we needed to attack them. To me, that was the win because everybody knows that, right now, what we do in conference play matters the most. And, this is as deep as the conference has been in a long time. And we have to figure out a way to make ourselves competitive. But at the same time, we want to go 1-0 every game. That's our focus. With this group, I can't even think about Texas, who we play after this. Like, it's Georgia, and that is the focus.
I know it's not the Christine and Cody show, but I don't know if you're challenging anybody else to step up. I know Tasha had a massive December. KP as well, she's had previous scoring success too. Sierra, obviously, all conference last year as a freshman, but just curious if you were challenging anybody else to help those two out and to be a three-headed monster instead of a two.
That's a great question. I think Sierra hasn't been scoring as much as last year. I think she's down maybe 5 points of what she did, and that can change at any point. But Sierra has stepped up a lot from a defensive end and a rebounding, and I think she's way up there in even assists. And so that's what's unique about this team. We're an interesting team because I think we're still evolving and becoming. And so, sometimes it's Sierra, sometimes it's Tosh. At one point, it'll be all of them. We're the type of team, we're going to need everybody to just really be a star in their role.
Georgia, I know coaching's had a rough couple of years, but it seems like, they're 14-0. They've put together some good wins. They're kind of new as well, but I was curious what you've seen from them, if you have seen anything from them.
I think they've always been tough and been competitive since she's been in the league, and even before that, that's their MO. They're going to be tough and they're going to be competitive. For us, I think this is a great game for both teams because, whatever style, whatever team executes their style the best will win. I have a lot of respect for them, even in the past. I don't remember them really getting dismantled by anybody. Like, they've always been in games. So as far as and I think that's majority of the teams. Like, there are a couple new coaches we have in the league, but for the coaches that have been in the league, I think last year they didn't win a lot of games and then they beat Tennessee, So this is one of those games where I'm glad we're starting off at home. We're going to have to be tough. We're going to have to be competitive. And then we'll have to make sure that our game plan is solid so we're all on the same page.
When it's two defensive teams going at it, you're allowing 52 points a game. They're at 51 points a game.
Yeah.
I don't know if you like going up against someone else who's also defensive-minded like you, or just curious what your thoughts are on that.
I hadn't really thought much about, what, like a comparison of what we do versus what they do. I like playing games. I like going up against different styles. We played Michigan State, and they average, 90-something points, and we held them to 66, but on the other hand, we struggled to score. So I like the challenge of being able to look at who we're playing and figure out a way to dictate and disrupt them on the offensive and defensive end.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.